We're staying with election coverage. INEC has declared the People's Democratic Party candidate, Mr. Darius Ishaku, winner of the Taraba State governorship election. In an interview, Mr. Ishaku described his victory as a paradigm shift for the PDP and an expression of the people's will.
I'm happy, but it's a belated victory, I must say, because we had already won, but it had to go for a rerun. And so I will say, just like anybody, I was happy that this second rerun gave opportunity for me to add the gap and the difference, which was quite okay for me, and the reconfirmation that the people are indeed behind me and the people want me to lead them as a leader. I will tell my people to rejoice in the victory and take it calmly, and that by the special grace of God we are going to ensure that Taraba once again becomes a peaceful state. I think one of the main problems I have to tackle immediately head on is provision of peace. Once there is peace, then I have what I can build on. Social infrastructures and other developmental things that are lacking. Just like Mr. President congratulated the APC, I was hoping that the APC will congratulate me also. And then we move ahead. Now is the question of the state, which is bigger than any one of us.
The Taraba State Governor-elect, Mr. Darius Ishaku. Meanwhile, the APC candidates in the governorship election in Taraba State, Senator Aisha Al-Hassan, has rejected the results of the rerun poll, insisting it was fraught with violence and other electoral malpractices. Senator Al-Hassan, the only female candidate in the 2015 governorship poll, said INEC failed to address concerns raised by the APC after the initial conduct of the election on April 11th.
Immediately after the April 11th governorship election, governorship of state assembly polls, the national leadership of our great party and myself addressed the World Press Conference in Abuja, where we expressed the rejection of the results of the election in some local government areas, namely Uduaghan, Chaku, Turkey, Sambona, Zin, Yoro, and parts of Lau, Alcohol, and Carolina local governments. We have called for either the cancellation of the results of those local government areas and the proposed result to also include them, or total cancellation of the April 11th gubernatorial polls. Despite our plea and petition to INEC, our complaints are not related. Now, having concluded the Uduaghan election with the result of both the supplementary and first election March, we hereby make the following declaration as the official stand of both the great party APC and my own self before their party. 1. That the combined governorship elections in Taraba State were characterized by violence, massive raiding, ballot snatching, and abuse of the party leaders in substantial parts of the state by the PDP and their allies.
The APC governorship candidates for the Taraba State election reacting to the results that were announced by INEC. Now to take a look at the rerun elections and the way forward for the Independent National Electoral Commission, I'm being joined on the News at 10 by a solicitor of the Supreme Court, Mr. Osahon Ihehe. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Let's get your opinion on the exercise that was conducted on Saturday in these three states. There were so many issues, ballot snatching, and then a senator whose family was caught with ballot papers that were being thumbprinted and so on. Would you say we really have conducted really good elections?
To a large extent, I think the elections we have turned the corner ever since the last two elections. I mean the presidential and the other one on the 11th. I think on the 20th and on the 11th, and of course to this recent one, I think we have turned the corner. The elections were largely successful to a large extent. I think most of the areas where the elections were held, the elections complied substantially with the provisions of the law.
You're talking about the reruns now?
Yes, even the reruns, except for those areas where you had people snatching ballot boxes, where you had people thumbprinting and the rest of it. I think the law enforcement agents should really take care of that. Those people were involved in such very bad and despicable acts. I think they should be arrested and for once be prosecuted, and let us really know that there are sanctions for these things.
It does appear, though, that the APC is in a reversed role here with these elections. You have had the PDP in power for up to 16 years, and now the APC has taken over. Do you think we would still have an opposition strong enough to contest in another election in 4 years?
I think so. I think the PDP got to a point. The PDP had this arrogance in power. There was so much what I would call some kind of Napoleonic arrogance about the PDP for the past 16 years, particularly when the former president was in power. Not Jonathan. Jonathan is somebody who is quite humble and all that. But before now, PDP had become so arrogant. They had felt that, look, nothing can touch us and nobody can take us out of here. I even remember they once said they were going to rule for 60 years. For Jonathan's administration, he was quite a humble person, but a number of people around him were quite, they also displayed that Napoleonic arrogance, making it look like, look, you can't take us out of here. And I think the chicken came home to roast.
And in your opinion, that arrogance was what cost them the elections?
To a large extent. Arrogance and a lot of infighting, lack of internal democracy, although you can also say that of APC to a large extent.
Yeah, but would they make a viable opposition in the next election, do you think?
I think it is now left to them what they want to make out of this opposition that they are presently in. They need to close ranks. They need to look inwards and see those areas where they have faulted and see what they have done wrong and see if they can correct those things. I think they should be able to make a good opposition.
Well, INEC has been commended across the board for conduct of a peaceful, fair election to some extent. And as we look forward to another set of elections in some states next year, there will be a review of what INEC has done right and what INEC has not done right. What areas do you think that they should focus on as they prepare for that election?
I think INEC must learn to be decisive. If you decide to use PVCs, I mean the permanent voters card, you should make sure you decisively use PVCs. If you decide to use the card reader, it's not for you to, on election day, shift the goalpost, as it were. Oh, we must use card reader, we are going to use PVCs. Just on election day, you now announce, oh, don't, if the PVCs are not working, if the card readers are not working, now use whatever it is, the manual voting. I think that is not manual verification. Well, I think that is not good enough.
You would think that we would use PVCs in the next election, right? Because it is a permanent voter card.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm saying that if they have to use PVCs and the card reader, they must be firm on the usage of those materials. It's not for you to say, okay, we're going to use PVCs and card readers. Only for you on election day to shift the goalposts, as it were. Oh, if the PVC and the card readers are not working, now you do manual voting. I think that they should guard against that. They should be definitive. They should make up their mind what they want to do and do it.
Well, Mr. Ahe, thank you so much for speaking with us on the News at 10. We really do appreciate your insight on this issue. Mr. Osan Oyehehe is a solicitor at the Supreme Court. He joined us to talk about the recently conducted rerun elections in 3 states in the country. We're staying with electoral matters, though on the side, the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, says he will revisit the allegation made by the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, of unremitted $20 billion oil revenue into the Federation account. General Buhari told a delegation from Adamawa State that once sworn in, the allegation would be investigated. General Buhari, who spoke in Hausa language at a meeting, says $20 billion is a huge sum of money to ignore. He also says that his party, the All Progressives Congress, the APC, has drawn up a roadmap to address the issues of insecurity, youth unemployment, and corruption in the country. Meanwhile, more light has been thrown into the real reason why the People's Democratic Party lost to the center and in several states in the Federation. This time, the governor of Delta State, Emmanuel Uduaghan, has been speaking about what he feels were the root causes of the party losing the prominence at the center. The governor today on our political program, Politics Today, said the party fell apart because of neglect by some members.
PDP has anchored its strength on governors from 1999, so some people sat down and said the governors were becoming too powerful. Let us cut their wings. Unfortunately, they were aligning with National Assembly members, and we had a chairman there who was behaving like a chief executive officer of the party and started writing letters and queries to governors. And of course, that's led to crisis in the party, and we lost some governors. The party did not recover from the loss of those five governors. And this went on until we got to the issue of the primaries. Of course, when the primaries came, we had a lot of challenges with the primaries. There was no level playing ground for people who wanted to contest elections at all the levels. The impunity and intimidation allowed some governors and some prominent party members to leave the party. Of course, the lack of internal democracy, which I talked about, especially during our primaries, that made some unpopular candidates to win primaries or to be, and some popular ones had to leave to other parties. So he agrees with me that what happened with PDP was not about performance, but it's also about the internal challenges in the party.
When the News at 10 returns, NDDC commissions projects in Otwoke in Bayelsa State. Please join us again.